Today is Thursday, August 10th. We're playing the Lacrosse Loggers here at Carson Park. Figured I'd make a video kind of walking you through, showing a day in the life of getting ready for a Northwoods League broadcast.
3-2 is left into left field. That one might have burned the left fielder Bergman, and it's over his head and off the wall.
I made it up to the broadcast booth here at Carson Park. Usually the first thing I do is go through, make sure everything's cleaned up, get the windows open, get all the spiders out of here, and then I move into the computer. I got everything cleaned up already, but we have some new equipment today, so I'm going to get all that opened up, unboxed, and ready to go. That's all the new equipment. We got 2 new intercom headsets and 3 new cables for our camera zoom controllers. And that's all ready for tonight and good to go. So next, I like to come over here and I move into, whoopsie daisy. So now that the booth is as tidy as it'll ever be, didn't manage to get all the spiders yet, I like to move into graphics prep. So that involves preparing our pregame show. So before I go and record the pregame show with our announcer, I like to go through and pull all the, the key players, the highlights and everything from the script that he sends me every morning, and get those graphics loaded up so I don't need to worry about them when I'm editing the pregame show later. That way I can just throw them all into the Premiere Pro template and I just don't have to worry about it. It's really nice, get it done ahead of time. After that, I like to move into the actual show prep, which means I'm getting together, starting lineups, logos, graphics, colors, making sure all that is 100% correct. We use, I'd say, 50% of our graphics in the first inning or so, with the, starting lineups, defensive lineups, all that. And those are the most important ones to get right, because if the lineup's wrong, then Pete kind of has to, our announcer has to, backpedal and fix things, which we don't want to do. We want to let our announcer cue us as much as possible when we're working. So now that I'm done getting graphics ready for the pregame show, I'm going to move into the actual live show graphics. But I figure now is a good time to talk about the different programs we use. So we use 2 main programs, Wirecast and a program called Titler Live. So Wirecast is like a broadcasting suite sort of thing. It's not... Titler Live is a graphics program that feeds into NDI sources in Wirecast. So in Titler Live, there are different graphics scenes, and these graphics scenes read different spreadsheets that are updated by our scorebook. So in our other booth over there, we have our scorekeeper, and he's updating the website, and the website updates these spreadsheets, and the spreadsheets send me information that automatically renders new graphics for me during the game. So when a new pitcher comes up or a new batter comes up, that'll change over in the system. It'll pull up, their picture, their stats, all that jazz. And then Titler connects to a program called Stats Updater, and Stats Updater allows me to have a control panel in order to send graphics over to Wirecast. So the workflow looks like a new batter comes up, the person over in the score booth updates the batter, I get an update on my Stats Updater program, which updates Titler, and then I can use my control panel to send the graphic over to Wirecast. It sounds like a lot, but in reality, I just need to check if it's rendered. I click one button and the right graphic pops up. So then this cable disaster over here is a disaster of my own doing, but this is our switcher program. So we use a data video control panel to switch all our cameras. We have different SDI inputs feeding into that, all that jazz. But you will recognize that it's maybe not as in-depth or as a complicated as something like a TriCaster. So the reason that the Northwoods League doesn't use more complicated or, better equipment like a TriCaster is because maybe not how it should be, but that's how it is. So having everything localized on the computer instead of spread out on a ton of different pieces of equipment, because, if a person who's new to broadcasting comes in and sits down in front of a TriCaster 460 or something like that, it's gonna be a rough show. If you're looking to have things like multiple replay angles, more complex graphics, like a live pregame show, a more in-depth live pregame show, things like that, even more cameras, I would suggest investing in better equipment, investing in higher tier equipment, or just straight up more. If we got a TriCaster instead of our data video switcher, that would go a long ways towards improving the setup. But understandably, it's a collegiate league, and our responsibility is to make sure that everyone sitting at home sees all aspects of the action. Program tangent aside, I'm gonna plow ahead at our live show graphics. I'm gonna get all those up, done, dusted, and rendered, so that we're good to go when we're ready to record our pregame. Something I did notice earlier is that I accidentally saved over my lacrosse Wirecast project with a different game. When we played Minot, I accidentally saved over that, which means all the commercials and everything are different in different spots. So I need to pull up the cue sheet, go through that, reorganize it, make sure all of lacrosse's commercials are loaded, make sure those, all the audio is balanced and everything is good to go. On that note, I should probably bring up something. So game day prep, all the prep, is the most important aspect of any production. If you're not prepped properly, things are going to go wrong. We've had days where it's been a little tight. Things have not been set up properly. I've left a commercial too loud or something like that, and it really throws a kink in the production. Sometimes it throws an extremely large kink in the production, and you most of the time you can never see that stuff coming. So you need to be able to sit down for a good amount of time, get everything prepped, get everything 100% ready, make sure you're confident in everything. Because I sincerely believe in broadcast jinxing. If you're not confident in your work, things are going to go wrong. So I've gotten as far as I can with graphics work for now. I don't have our starting lineup yet, so I'm not able to continue with that. So instead, I'm going to go set up our high home camera so that we can have that for some insert shots if we want it for the lead-in show. That's our high home camera setup. Our new LAN control cables work fantastic, so now we can do nice and smooth pans and zooms and all that jazz. Looks really good. I hope our high home camera operator's happy about that. So I have a little extra time on my hands now, and earlier our announcer mentioned that since it's throwback night here at Carson Park, we'll be wearing the classic Eau Claire Bears jerseys. It might be a good idea to throw together a little tribute video to Hank Aaron, because we have his statue out front. Because he might mention it during the broadcast, I can throw it up with some, light music behind it, something like that. So I'm going to work on editing that, throw that together real quick, and then pretty quick here, I'm going to go record our pregame show. So I just got back from recording the lead-in show with our announcer. So next is editing. So I get to chop up the lead-in show, get it loaded into our broadcast, and then we get to set up cameras.
coming in, baby. Yeah.
Cross does not look ready.
So I got the response here.
But they're not going to line up on the regular line. They really don't line up down the right field line, and that ball will be there! Marquez, we are almost set for baseball. Express, they'll be wearing the Eau Claire Bears uniform. So we'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. And Lacrosse Loggers, two teams that will face each other in just a couple of days on Sunday in the first round of the 2023 Northwoods League Play. And we're looking forward to a little playoff review here today. Let's take one. All right, Lacrosse Loggers here tonight.
Yeah, Cameron, you're going to have a shot of that pitch spot as you go.
I don't know why it does that. It's because it's already set to that focus point.
Well, usually on the other camera, though, you still do it and it does a slow phase.
It did on the other one today. I had to set it to a certain point.
Alright, so now
Bears
ready for
in the 1915 for the Express. They play here at Carson Park.
Okay, I can turn it down a bit.
Very young professional baseball player will look as follows.
How about that?
Is in left. It'll be Don Ridley in center, Ladder, and right around the
Alright, we're going to go to camera 3. Camera 3. Just stick this distance on it. Ready, 3. Coming down. Take 3. If he moves forward, just try and keep him in the center of his field. Pitcher going up.
He had 50 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 6.48 ERA in 13 appearances.
That's pretty good.
Struggles with that 10.19 ERA. But has not really recaptured the mojo, if you will, on the mound that we saw from him last year. And we'll see if he's
We're still just going to stay on camera. Make sure you follow around camera to your left.
Full field advantage, right? The Express need to win their last 3 games.
Stay here until it beats their ties.
And so that's kind of how things set up. It's a pretty small chance, but there is a chance, right? If the Express are able to come away with the win here tonight. So,
alright, camera 3.
How well goes down.
This might be difficult,
but
our goal is to always get the faces of whoever is pitching for up to bat. So in an instance like this, I'll have you grab the bat.
66th for the Loggers.
So camera 3
We're
grab that.
looking at 6:35 here on this overcast evening, about 77 degrees.
Just zoom in camera.
Whatever wind there is blowing out towards center, maybe right center.
Maybe even
There's
just
not
a tad.
wind out there today, so as this one's found
Right
off
there.
by
Ready,
Paul.
3. Take 3. That's pretty good.
Batter going up. Hold on that.
Well, we have Mick Paul listed as the leadoff man, but I'm seeing number 2 there, so unless Mick Paul left his jersey at home, that's Gable Mitchell who is batting. And let's just say we had sort of a comedy of errors in the lineup card for the Lacrosse Loggers before the game, so that would not surprise me if that is Gable Mitchell. My apologies. There's a swing.
Ready, 3, take 3. Ready, 1, take 1.
Loggers.
3, grab the pitcher now.
And it is, in fact, Mike. That
He's still on one.
So,
Ready, 3. Take 3. 1, grab the
Express, you are 3-8 against the Loggers this season, and you see
live on camera 3.
the old school
Ready, 2,
look
take
there
2.
with the
And
high
camera
socks
3,
and the pant legs up.
ready, 1, take 1.
Almost
So,
like Nicholas
Olivia,
would be
batter going up.
If you are unsure of your camera shot, down your clear. Ready to take two. I don't know, just imagine you're watching a game of baseball, imagine you're watching a TV show or something. Take one. If you don't like how your shot moves, feel free to make slight adjustments to it. Slightly zoom in, slightly zoom out, pan a little left. Ready to take two. Ready three. Take three. Feel free to move it around a little bit. But just do it smooth, as smoothly and as gently as you can. Ready to take two. Just in case we're live. Ready one, take one. Now, if I tell you to get the shot,
certainly come the playoff matchup on Sunday, and
it was a left-handed batter.
Baseball Network, and I enjoy bringing that to you certainly in the opening.
I tell you to grab that. Then I would want you.
Ready
Ready to take two. Then I would want you to go fast. Ready for take four.
Quigley is back after it. He will get
So good. That was so good.
That was so good, Jack. What the hell? Ready one, take one. If you do that every time, you're goated. That was actually so good. Alright, ready three. Take three.
He's come on really well as of late for the Express. And Trey Felder.
3-2. Take two. French three, go to bat.
Not a starter gets it off the bench, right? How the pitching works out and how far the Express get in the playoffs. But certainly could be a long relief guy, could be a guy brings you some of that senior leadership as he delivers strikes out the account of Ben Ziegler-Namoa. Ziegler-Namoa hit in the 2 spot yesterday for the Loggers and the 1-0 win for Eau Claire. Curveball just going to miss the inside corner. According to our home plate umpire, who is Matt Metcalf tonight, Jeff Osborne is at first. Alan Bryant is at third for the Blue Jays.
Take two.
Signed by the Northwoods League. We'll have 6-man umpire crews once the playoffs start on Sunday as well, as Trey Felder delivers a strike. That, of course, a big honor for the umpiring squads. 24 umpires.
Ready, take three.
There are some alternates as well at each side.
Ready to take two. Actually, camera three. Could you? Here's a good rule. Ready, one, take one.
Just wrapped up a great game here at Carson Park. Everyone did fantastic, even though we had some new camera operators. They really killed it. So I'm going to lock everything up, go home, hit the hay, and do it all again tomorrow.